Hey everybody, welcome back to Beyond Profit, a Global Perspective. I'm Mark, and I want to talk a little bit about executive summaries. I have a lot of students, several professionals ask me, how do you write one of these things? And it's a little confounding, and so I just want to take a little bit of time and break that down. An executive summary can be something that you put on the front end of nearly any report. The idea is to try to do a summary for the executive. Big surprise, right? But how to make that work, what to include in that, sometimes that's another question. So let's talk about it. If you're getting a lot out of these videos, I'd like to remind you to please like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with others. Certainly want to help out people as much as possible when it comes to this professional development and just trying to help people with their careers and their education and so on. And of course, leave some comments. Like if there's something I can do to help you out, if there's a new video you want me to make, I'd be happy to put that together for you. Just talk to me, let me know. Likewise, we have a great university here at University St. Mary. This is my FBLA t-shirt, Future Business Leaders of America. We've got a group here of undergraduates that do that. I also teach in the MBA program, so I'd welcome you to come down here and study with us if you like. How many of you have ever written an executive summary for a report before? This is something that you write that goes on the front end of your report. The reason why we put it at the front end of the report but we work on it last is because it's a summary, right? Once everything's together, then you know how to summarize it. If it's not together, then you don't know what to work with. So the idea is you put your entire report together, and all this is a brief summary of what is in the report itself. And so an executive summary is designed for executives and officials who want to know what's in the document, but maybe they don't have time to read the entire report, or they need to glance at it now, go in deep later, right? They want to know what's in there. And if they can look at it, it's sort of like it's an annotated table of contents, if you will, right? It's like I can look at this thing and say, oh, right, okay, this is sort of where they think, how much money they think they're going to make. Well, let's look at those. That seems crazy. Let me look at the finance section and double check that, right? And so at a glance, people can assess what the report is about. The idea is to get the attention of the reader and invite them to read the entire document. It's an analytical summary. It is not a sales pitch, by the way. I have seen some people, business people who have written these plans, or students or whoever, write this like, hey, this is the purpose of this thing is to try to get you really excited about this plan so that you can go buy the thing, right? That is not really what an executive summary is all about. It's just telling you, just the facts, ma'am, this is what is in the document. The argument and data should inherently support your argument anyway, which is that you want to do this expansion, or whatever the plan is, that's what you want to do. That should be inherent within the report. So what do you include in an executive summary? A brief statement of purpose. I think that's important. I've seen some executive summaries where you just sort of like jump in and you just start listing things, right? You should say, the purpose of this report is to, move this company into this place, right? So it's kind of like a thesis statement. You need something like that in there. You want to summarize market potential and how the plan uniquely fills a key company need. You should have a concise analysis. Include only what is necessary. It should quickly and succinctly explain the advantages to stakeholders for future meetings or actions. Be selective about what you include. You will not get to share everything in those first couple of pages. Think about it in a way as sort of like a pitch. You have to be selective. Like, what kinds of things do you think your boss needs in order for them to make a decision about whether to greenlight this project? And you just stick it there as a summary in those first couple of pages. And for some people, this is maybe one of the most challenging parts of a report because, it's easy to do a lot. Sometimes it's hard to do just a little. And so figuring out what that's going to be. But that is the goal of your executive summary. And you want to summarize the major conclusions. What did you discover? What are your recommendations? I should be able to look at the end of an executive summary and say, all right, they think we should greenlight this project and move this company into this country. Or maybe they don't greenlight the project. Maybe they've done all this research and after all, it's not maybe the best plan in the world. Or maybe, it will only work if X, Y, and Z happens, right? So, or this is, we hope to make this much money. Something that's going to make a recommendation, so somebody's going to kind of know where to go with that. In terms of the structure and composition, it can be about 5 to 10% of the length of the entire paper. It should not be more than about 1 to 3 pages in length. You should write this in third person professional tone. Don't introduce yourself like, hello, my name is Mark Harvey, and I'm in the MBA program at the University of St. Mary. Just an aside, this is the University of St. Mary. We're not the University of St. Mary's or St. Mary University. There are other colleges that are named St. Mary that have St. Mary in the title. We're different. That's the way we are. Especially if you're a student, you probably ought to know that. But anyway, if you want to find us, that's how you find us. How do you want to organize the executive summary? I would say it should follow along the main point of your report, along those points in order. So if it's a business plan, for example, address every major section or the sections that are the most important to you. You should have short, concise paragraphs written in the same order as the plan. Any bullet points, headings, bold print, italics, those are your friends. You want to make it look good. You want to make it easy to read. And when you're done with that executive summary, I think you should put a hard break at the end of it. What do I mean? Is the executive summary is done, and then it ends, and then it goes to the introduction. It goes to the next section of the report or whatever it is. It seems like a separate document that comes on top of it. It shouldn't just flow straight into the verbiage of the next part of your report. I have included a few examples here just to show you of what they might look like. Here's one, Quantum Innovate Tech, right? It's just sort of a pretend company. But it shows you how it's very simple and it's very clean and just very basic. You shouldn't have a whole lot of words. It should be really easy to look at. Here's another one, an executive summary, Salford and Company, right? It looks a little bit like a resume in this. It's formatted simply and nicely, clean, pretty. Here's one that's more modern looking, where it's a little more colorful, and again, it's pleasing to the eye. It's something that you can just sort of glance at and get the idea of. So that's all I got on executive summaries. Hopefully that helped you guys out. Until next time on Beyond Profit Global Perspective, I'll see you later.